ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। अहं दूरतस्ते पदाम्बोजयुग्म प्रणामे च यागत्य सेवां करोमि सकृत् सेवया नित्यसेवाफलं त्वं प्रयच्छ प्रयच्छ प्रभो वेङ्कटेश. This sloka is the penultimate sloka of our entire Venkatesha Stotram. So what does Anand Swami say here? Aham durataste padamboja yugma. Aham, I, durataste, dura, distance, right? So I'm coming from very far away. For what have I come? Padamboja yugma, your lotus feet. Pranamechaya. Pranama ichaya. In order, with a wish to worship your divine feet, Ho Bhagavan. Agatya, having come, Sevam Karomi. I perform service at your divine feet, Ho Bhagavan, at your lotus feet. Sakrit Sevaya, this very act, I'm doing it once because I'm staying far away. It is not easy for me to come here. And because of all the sins, I've not been able to come here. What have I done here? I have come once, I'm worshipping you now. Sakrit Sevaya, at this point, single act of service. You have to give me Nitya Seva Palam. Tvam. You have to accept it. Prayacha Prayacha. And please bestow. Here again, please bestow. Prayacha Prayacha. Hey Prabhu, hey Venkatesha. Bhagavan Sri Venkatesha, you are the Prabhu. So please accept this single service of mine and give me Nitya Seva Palam. So let's go into the detailed meaning of this. Aham Durataste. The very first phrase itself is a very beautiful phrase. Aham. Aham means I, right? Aham Durataste. I am coming from a very far away place. Because today's transportation facilities to Tirumala are very different from what it used to be. People had to walk all the way. The mountain used to look like a actual mountain with not so many steps and other conveniences that we have for today. So from Kanjipuram, Anand Swami had to go to Tirumala by taking a walk, which was effort by itself, right? So aham durataste, I'm coming from a distant place. I have to take a walk. It is long distance. So this can be a very simple, straightforward way of interpreting the statement. But as always, there are layers of meaning, right? So aham durataste, our acharyas have said, it is not about the physical distance, it is about the mental distance. So what do all our sins do? It makes us go into so many things in so many directions that we forget visiting our Bhagavan itself. Most of the times in life, even in our regular work and corporate world, we say urgent things take over the important things. We always keep running behind things which are urgent, right? Oh, this is so urgent, I have to complete it now. But over a period of time, all the important things just remain. So we don't focus on what is important for our life. We are just firefighting, doing the rat race all the time. So I have forgotten you. And this is because of all my sins. So what happens? The mental distance keeps increasing. Every time I want to go to Tirumala, I keep delaying it. I don't get an opportunity. So aham durataste. Mentally, I have distanced myself so much, oh Bhagavan. And this is because of all the purva papas that I have done. So what happens? Now I remembered Padamboja Yukma. Now I remember your pada. Here, one another interesting interpretation given by acharyas is that aham durataste is used, right? Aham, which means I, refers to the ahankara. Whenever I say I, without submitting to Bhagavan, there is always a distance between us and Bhagavan. So the Dasa Bhava, the moment you think of Bhagavan's feet and surrender at his feet, this distance reduces. So aham duradaste, that phrase itself, the dura is because of this aham. Because ahankara is there, we are at a distance from Bhagavan. So the aham goes and then we come closer to Bhagavan. That is why soon after that he says, Padamboja Yugma. Having come to your lotus feet, now I want to offer seva. So pranamechaya, I've come here just to offer the seva because those fluctuations, all these sins have made me forget you. Now what happens? Some punya that I have done sometime helps me remember you, O Bhagavan. Listening to your auspiciousness, thinking about you, coming to your temple, all these are the punyas. So some punya has now made me come here. I don't know what is going to happen in the future. So this time I'm serving you, but please remember that I served you now. And let this service to you be equivalent to me doing service to you every day, oh Bhagavan. Okay. So Sakrit Sevaya, take this one service as the regular eternal service from me to you. Sakrit Sevaya, Nitya Seva Palam. Take this as your Nitya Seva. But then our acharyas are not happy by saying that take this as the Nitya Seva to you, because Anand Swami is not a kind of person who is going to forget after doing service to Bhagavan once, right? Doing service to Bhagavan once will make him do more service to Bhagavan. Why is he not going to do service to Bhagavan? So what our acharyas say is that having come here, having offered this service here to Bhagavan at Tirumala once, he is asking for Nitya Seva, which is eternal Seva to Bhagavan, even after this birth. So it is not just coming here once and offering this service in these difficulty, oh Bhagavan. Let my Manovak Kayam be so close to you. Offer me the moksha through which I can offer this eternal service to you all the time without any interruption, without any distance. So he is asking for the moksha prapti in this sloka, is what our acharyas interpret. Sakrit sevaya nitya seva palam tvam is there, no? I offer the small effort to you. And you have to give me moksha prapti. Now let us assume a conversation between our Anand Swami and Bhagavan Sri Venkatesha. So Anand Swami is saying that, I have come here, I'm doing my seva to you. So you have to grant me moksha. Now Bhagavan Sri Venkatesha is saying, do you know what moksha is? People without any distraction, with undivided attention, like what I have mentioned in my Bhagavad Gita, Nischala Bhakti, Tailadhara Bhakti, when oil is poured from top, it never spatters anywhere. It just comes in a straight line. Your bhakti should have so much of focus. Then and only then you can attain moksha. It's not easy to get moksha. Moksha is not for everybody. It is for the strong-willed. Getting rid of the samsara sagara is for the strong-willed. So what is your qualification to ask for moksha? This is the question of Bhagavan Sri Venkatesha to our Anand Swami. Now, Anand Swami says, we know your stories. Whatever leelas you did in your earlier avatars, we are well learned with all that. So, Anand Swami says that when you were a little boy, Krishna, you stole the butter and Yashoda Mata was chasing you, oh Krishna. You ran to everybody's house in order to escape the fury of Yashoda Mata. You were worried that you're going to get caught. And there you landed in the house of a potter. You run to the potter and you say, my mother is furious with me, so please protect me. And the potter says, okay, I'll take care. And Mother Yashoda comes right there and she's asking the potter, did you see little Krishna? Did he come here? And then the potter lied to Mata Yashoda saying that, no, Krishna is not here. You can look for yourself. And then he sat on the pot where Krishna was hiding. So Krishna went into a huge pot and the potter sat on top of the pot. Now, Yashoda Mata searches everywhere else. She leaves the place. Now, Krishna says, take me out of the pot. It is so suffocating. The potter, Dadipanda, we call him. So Dadipanda says, no, I'm not going to help you come out of it. Because he realizes it is Bhagavan himself who is hiding in this pot. So he is telling Krishna, only if you give me what I want, I'm going to let you out of this pot. Now Krishna is like, okay, you are a trader. Ask me what you want. He says, it is not so easy. It is very difficult to get what I want. But promise me only, then I will leave. Oh, whatever you ask, I will. You just help me out of this pot. You know? So the Dadipanda is now saying, I know that you are the omnipresent, omnipotent Bhagavan. You are the Antaryami of everybody. You are the Vibhu. Please grant me the moksha. Not just for me, even for this pot, please grant moksha. So Bhagavan says, Tatastu. So he grants moksha to Dadipanda and the pot in which he was hiding, even to an Achetana, and says that he will grant moksha so that this Dadipanda is going to help our little Krishna come out of the pot. How sweet can it be? That Bhagavan, can't he come out of the pot? But he wants the help of his devotees, to make the devotee feel so good. He waited, he got help by the devotee. And as a return for the small service, he granted him moksha itself. So that episode we remember. So Anand Swami says, your rewards are always disproportionate to what we do, Bhagavan. We offer you just our service, you give us moksha. To the Dadipanda, what did that pot do to you? It was just right next to the potter who asked for moksha. And that pot also got the moksha. I'm sure I'm coming here and offering service, so you can grant me moksha. It is not because of my merit. It is because of your karuna, ho Bhagavan. So that is Sakrit Sevaya Nitya Seva Palam. You give me this eternal service to you, which is the Mokshananda, ho Bhagavan. So this, once I remember you, I offer my service. You must remember this and grant me the eternal moksha. That is the internal interpretation of this sloka. Aham durataste padambhoj yugma praname chayagatya sevam karomi sakrit sevaya nitya seva phalam tvam prayachcha prabho venkatesha.
Aham